for Liberia, Quimand Tara stresses the need for change of mindset and attitude amongst Africans. Women of Liberia today join their counterparts across the world to celebrate International Women's Day. United States Ambassador accredited near Monrovia, Michael McCarthy says the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccine is a major boost in Liberia's successful fight against the coronavirus. And up the home front, a teenage student becomes the fifth person to die in Senegal in protest for opposition leader Usman Sonko. These and other stories coming up. First, we take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the details of these stories. Welcome back to the news. We'll now take this story. President George Weah has declared by proclamation Monday, March 8, 2021 as International Women's Day to be observed throughout Liberia as a working holiday. Women of Liberia have already joined their counterparts around the world under the global team Women in Leadership Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. And the national team is Women in Leadership Breaking Down Barriers in the Dispensation of the COVID-19 World. According to a Foreign Ministry release, the celebration is in recognition of women's struggle and gain quality and equal rights for all women across the globe. Meanwhile, Liberia Feminist-in-Chief President George Weah is expected to address women at the program to be organized by the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection and stakeholders befitting the occasion. The release said the UOL remains committed to ensuring equal status for men and women in society without discrimination and has ratified the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women, reflecting its commitment to gender equality and equity. The government of Liberia has received the first batch of 96,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines, according to health authorities. Dr. Peter Clement and UNICEF Deputy Representative for Programs Samuel Maunganizi presented the vaccines to the government Saturday morning at the Rabos International Airport. During the presentation, Dr. Clement described the arrival of the vaccine as historic, a step towards intensifying the fight against the coronavirus in Liberia. For his part, Dr. Maunganizi urged Liberians to continue adhering to the preventive measures despite the arrival of the vaccines into the country. According to him, UNICEF will continue to play its role as a key delivery partner and provide the technical support to ensure COVID-19 vaccines are safely delivered for the launch of the immunization campaign. At the same time, United States Ambassador to Liberia, Michael McCarthy, says the country's successful fight against COVID-19 has gotten a major boost with the arrival of the vaccine. Ambassador McCarthy said it is the hope of partners that the vaccine will protect healthcare workers on the front line and the most vulnerable throughout the country. According to the U.S. ambassador, his government, through USAID, is providing support to the Health Ministry's COVID-19 vaccination deployment plan. He said the next challenge now that the Liberian government is to grapple with is getting the logistics to administer the vaccines with the right information. For his part, United Nations Resident Coordinator Neil Scott said the United States is pleased with the COVID-19 vaccine coordination amongst its member states. For the first time in the history of Peace Island, community in Congo Town, the people are enjoying first public electricity in the area. The electricity project was undertaken by the government of Liberia in partnership with the European Union in Liberia. President George Weah switched on the light on behalf of the government and made his remarks.
The night is far gone. The day is at hand. So then, let us cast off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. I want to use the occasion to thank you for your continued support to our government and people of this great nation, Mama Liberia. By working together, we continue to forge ahead and deliver on the promise of the Pro Agenda for Prosperity and Development, the PAPD, and positively change the lives of the Liberian people. General lighting is not a luxury, but instead a necessity. Lighting is important to a home because it improves the mood, creates a warm and bright ambience, as opposed to gloomy and unattractive spaces. It provides a sense of security and brings together families and community. To the people of Peace Island, in Genesis 1:3, God said, "Let there be light," and now there is light.
President George, we are there speaking at the lighting ceremony in the Peace Island community in Congo Town. Meanwhile, the head of the European Union delegation to Liberia, Ambassador Laurent Delahousse, had described power theft as an offense not only punishable by law, but an act that also endangers the lives of Liberians. Ambassador Delahousse further noted that electricity plays a pivotal role in the social and human development of any nation. The EU head of delegation made a statement Friday at the lighting ceremony on the Peace Island.
This is what we do at the delegation of the European Union and in the embassies of Germany, Ireland, France and Sweden. Deliver to the people of Liberia. And this is what you were elected for. This is what your administration is working at. This is what the Pro Agenda for Prosperity and Development stands for. And we support you in this noble endeavor. We, the delegation of the European Union, the embassies of the European member states, representing together 450 million people who have mandated my colleagues and I to support the development of your country and to deliver to the people of Liberia. It is an honor and a privilege for me to take part in this ceremony for the first electricity connection in Peace Island. Today, the benefits of electricity are reaching a new part of society, together with the economic growth that power brings. I cannot emphasize enough its positive consequences for the promotion of social and human development for women, for children, and for all Liberians.
He's Ambassador Laurent Delahousse. He's the head of the European Union delegation in Liberia. At the same time, an appeal has been made by the people of Peace Island community in Congo Town for government to pave the road in their community. Peace Island Community Chairman Sam Passaway made their appeal Friday during the switching on of the first public electricity by the government and partners.
Start my immense thanks and appreciation to these projects to include the community electrification, the community all-purpose hall, and the water project that are completed by our donors and are waiting for delegations by you. Honorable President, our community rule, Your Excellency, Bio Medicine. As we commonly call you, our rule can be very bad during the rainy season. Many times our students, public workers, can ride canoe to and fro to school and work in the morning and evening time. Respectively, sometimes during this journey, we can sustain great losses when sometimes cannot capsize and dump our belongings. Considering this plight, we are kindly asking you to recondition our role.
Liberia Broadcasting System Director General Estelle Liberty Camon says she is impressed with the state-run broadcast. Marshal of the Year Reporter and Samson David Environmental Reporter of the Year, respectively. The LBS boss said the award should be seen as a challenge for the state-run broadcasting entity to do more in serving the Liberian people. She commended all LBS staff for their role played in winning the award. At the same time, veteran Liberian journalists and a consultant at the Liberia Broadcasting System, Aaron Colley, has admonished employees of the system to push forward with the awards. Mr. Colley also urged the LBS management to focus on the well-being of the employees.
Those who are in the area of broadcasting, you represent the public face of our nation. Do not hesitate to ask questions and explore new grounds, because what you say on the radio, what you say on the national television represent what the Republic of Liberia is. And I want to assure you, Madam Director General and team, that you making the decision to bring us on board at the level of a consultant, we will not hesitate to open the doors to come and work with the young people so that it becomes a learning experience and a win-win situation. So I only come to say to you, as we lead into 2021, this is just the third month of the new year. Let us begin to do more to make sure that the Liberia Broadcasting System remains the radio station that becomes second to none in the Republic of Liberia. Congratulations again, once again. Do not lay back with this award. Continue to use the awards as a stepping stone to open the space and do more so that the national government and the people of Liberia can give you the kind of deserving support. And my last thing I say to the management, please create the space for growth of the staff in terms of training, in terms of improvement of incentives and salary and the welfare of your staff. Because at the end of the day, this will serve as a motivation, because this is the career that we have chosen as a life-grown career. They must be able to build families. They must be able to improve their career path as journalists and as broadcasters.
If you just joined us, a reminder to watching Lntv News Live. 30 minutes of all the news from Liberia and elsewhere. My name is Maxwell Johnson, presenting. In outdoor stories, in a bid to fast-track development in Africa, World Bank Country Manager for Liberia, Kwima Ntara, stresses the need for change of mindset and attitude amongst Africans. Women of Liberia today join their counterparts across the world to celebrate International Women's Day. United States Ambassador accredited near Monrovia, Michael McCarthy, says the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccines is a major boost in Liberia's successful fight against the coronavirus. And at the home front, a teenage student becomes the fifth person to die in Senegal in protest for opposition leader Ousmane Sonko. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you more stories. Welcome back to Lntv News Live. A new resource center has opened at the William V. Stutman High School on 12th Street in Cinco. The A.M. Kine Collegiate Resource Center is established to build the academic and career skill level of secondary and tertiary students, educators, and researchers in Liberia. Speaking at the opening ceremony over the weekend, World Bank Country Manager for Liberia, Kwima Ntara, stressed the need for a change of mindset and attitude amongst Africans to develop their continent.
Through the Leadership and Entrepreneurial Academy Program, senior high school students will have access to career mentoring, leadership training, and entrepreneurial resources program. As you heard from my biography, I trained as a development economist. And my own assessment is that one of the major bottlenecks to development in Africa is that we have people who have the wrong attitudes, the wrong values, the wrong mindsets, whether about politics or indeed about entrepreneurship or employment. Most people, and I'm not saying all people, when I'm going to remember this, most people in Africa join politics for the wrong reasons. And most have the wrong attitudes about what it means to be employed or to run a business. I don't know about Liberia, but in my own country, Malawi, people join politics under the guise of serving the people when in fact the reality is that for them politics is actually just another business venture. Another income generating activity. Similarly, many people think that not being able to secure a paid job is a failure in life. The scholars, you have an opportunity that you must seize. Just like I was given an opportunity in more difficult circumstances than you have. I never had access to the facilities that you have.
He is Kwima Ntara. He is World Bank Country Manager for Liberia. Speaking earlier, the founder executive director of the Resource Center, Reverend Adam Kemp, provided an overview of workings of the center.
We formulated, because of our content, we formulated what I call the residential scholars. Residential scholars are those who comprise of PhD, master's level educators who are currently willing to help college students. You're willing. And what this says is that after we establish social states, if we have the support that we want, we will sit here and deal with each college student. They would get on our case. We would do an individual academic service plan for them. Where their gray areas are, where their weaknesses are. We we want to promote research in ways that it is not only quantitative, but qualitative research proposal that will be used in the community as projects. And so they decided that they would help individual students. They will put them on their case board. They are going to be strategically located in our center. So every university student that comes together with case board with somebody and they look at, they have an assessment of you and say, well, this is where you fall short. And so we will connect you and do whatever so that you can grow. We will promote integrity. Plagiarism is one of the things in Liberia that is not even considered. And we're trying to promote that educational integrity, leadership, entrepreneurial reality for college students. Besides the residential scholar, which we are calling on our partners and other people to look at that key concept, to have them paid.
The acting chairperson of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, LCC, Kanu Bala, says the entity is effective and functional. Addressing the media Friday, Councillor Bala dismissed the rumors as untrue and only intended to tarnish his reputation as a person.
Those information you find in the media has been deliberately deployed by people who want to create the impression that the LSCC is imploding, that the LSCC is misfiring, that the LSCC lacks capacity, and therefore there has to be some kind of intervention. I'd like to make it emphatically clear in this briefing that government is continuity. Honorable Ndibwisi Wabudiki voluntarily resigned on the 26th of February. In his communication to the president, he intimated that his presence here probably would have served as an impediment to the president's anti-corruption goal, and thus he left. As a function of continuity, the commission remains and the business of the commission continues. So no issues regarding the functions of the commission have been impeded. Employees are coming to work as per the time they've been taxed before. They are going about their normal function. As a matter of fact, today I just held a meeting with the head of the enforcement division of the LACC, and we're currently discussing how to continue the great work that the LACC has done. So in essence, what am I saying? I'm saying that contrary to what is out there in the press, where it is being sought to portray that the LACC is imploding, is untrue. It is by design. It is propaganda.
Meanwhile, Councillor Bala availed himself. Meanwhile, the LCC acting chairperson availed himself to an investigation as so called for to clear his name.
We take cognizance of spurious, groundless, factless allegations that have been levied against our person for political reasons, and we are aware of why they were levied. However, we are professional people, and we operate within a professional entity, an entity whose mandate clearly states that confidentiality is key, that reputations are important, that even an accused has rights. And therefore, before you seek to scandalize another person, you afford them due process, the opportunity to present their case, to be vindicated or to be culpable. We are aware of that. Without following those procedures, we have such allegations labeled liberally against us in the public sphere. We have chosen to be deliberate not to respond to them because we are professionals. As professionals, there are ways in which such issues are resolved. They are resolved by unbiased fact-finding or whatever quasi-judicial processes that establish what has transpired. And to that end, I'd like to applaud the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. I remember that, recall rather that
the President's Young Professional Program PYPP Executive Director, H. Izeze, has termed as vigorous and impartial the recruitment processes to admit fellows into the program. Speaking at the PYPP Class 9 Mentors and Supervisors Orientation Workshop, Mr. Izeze said the program is a sustainable approach in preparing the next generation of leaders.
The reason why, because a strong government and private sector capacity is essential to addressing Liberia's present economic and human development challenges. And so In a nutshell, that's all. That's the reason why we want to PYPP, because we need the government to have a strong human capital base, and even private sector should have strong human capital base. And quoting from the current Minister of Finance, the Honorable Samuel Ture, he said capacity building remains the greatest challenge for Liberia despite the recent gains that have been made so far. So it's undisputed that the President's Young Professionals Program stands today as the most sustainable development approach we can embark upon in Liberia.
Meanwhile, PYPP Board Chairperson, that's Chairman Nelson Williams, is calling for more private sector involvement in the mentoring of young Liberians.
Knowing that we have people in the public and private sector that will continue in leadership. Today I can say that my retirement will be great. Yes, it will be great because of what we see and experience. He spoke about his entity and what's happening there, and we are experiencing the same thing at Connex. We have one person now in the technical area that will be working in the refinery and going through an intense 6-month program. And then we have one that's in administration who is working with me and with the head of HR there, Mrs. Brown. So I know he will be.
The West African Drug Policy Network wants African governments draw a clear line between people legally possessing drugs for health and personal usage and those trafficking illicit substances. Speaking at a 2-day multi-sectoral stakeholders dialogue on Liberia drug law reform, the network executive director Prince Lucini called for collective efforts to tackle organized crimes and drug trafficking.
We are almost all in agreement that we should establish treatment and rehabilitation services and facilities. We should also focus on organized crime and drug trafficking. And I'm sure Honorable will be speaking on this probably much later. So we should think about alternative development and livelihood. The lack of effectiveness of crop eradication is also.
At the same time, Grand-Bassa County Representative Tomo Goshua stressed the need for collective efforts to tackle illicit drug use in the country.
For us in Liberia, it is now a #1 cause for most of the crimes that we see happening on a daily basis. So the proposal that we are making is not to discriminate people, but we must address the increase that the drug users or the impact that it is having on our society that mostly has to do with crime and crime-related events. And we must start to do it now. If we can address that, then maybe the other aspect of it will.
And briefly up the home front now, a teenage student has become the 5th person known to have died in Senegal protests that followed the arrest of opposition leader Ousmane Sonko on Wednesday. He was killed on Saturday in clashes between demonstrators and security forces in the southern city of Diaoubé. Protesters had tried to burn down official buildings in the city. Mr. Sonko appeared in court on Friday, accused of disrupting public order. He also faces a rape allegation. He denies the allegations, and his supporters say the accusations are politically motivated. On Friday, following violence in the capital Dakar and elsewhere, Interior Minister Antoine Felix Aboulaye Diame vowed to use all the means necessary for a return to order. Well, on that foreign note, that's how we come to the end of this edition of Lntv News Live. Before we go, a recap of stories that made headline this morning. In a bid to fast-track development in Africa, World Bank country manager for Liberia, Queen Tara, stresses the need for change of mindset and attitude amongst Africans. Women of Liberia today joined their counterparts across the world to celebrate International Women's Day. United States Ambassador to Liberia, Michael McCarthy, says the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccine is a major boost in Liberia's successful fight against the coronavirus. And up the home front, a teenage student becomes the fifth person to die in Senegal in protest for opposition leader Ousmane Sonko. Thank you so much for viewing. Thanks to our editors and reporters for making this edition a success. Join our update at 12, 2 and 4. Better stay join us tonight for another edition of News Live. On behalf of the entire news team, I've been your presenter, Maxwell Johnson. Have a good day.
Begin at tunesliberia.com.
National Toiletries Incorporated, Liberia-owned and reliable toiletries.